What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm finally here with my 2021 in the bag. This is one of the first videos I have posted on our channel this year so far. My brother has posted a couple in the last few weeks. Hopefully I can do a little bit better from here on out. It's just been so busy playing so much disc golf, and yeah, finally I'm here. So this is the bag that I've been using all summer so far, pretty much, with just a couple minor changes. I played 2 tournaments so far and many rounds, hours and hours and hours of practice. So let's see what I got in the bag by now. So starting with my putters, first of all, my throwing putters. I think I have a total of 5 throwing putters, only 2 molds. I downsized by 1 mold from last year. Last year I had a roach and I just wasn't throwing enough good shots with it. And if you can eliminate a mold without hurting your score, then do it. Maybe it will even make your score better. It can just simplify it and make it easier to make decisions. So I have three Lunas for throwing putters. I have a rubber blend Luna, which is very seasoned, super flippy, so I can throw turnovers, even some rollers with it. So not throwing a lot, but good turnover disc. And then I have a Z Luna, a first one Z Luna, and a big Z Luna. Very similar in flight. I do like the feel of the Z a little bit better than the big Z. It just feels a little bit better. I'm a little bit more confident, so I do use this for a lot of throws. This is my bread and butter upshot disc. It's the Calvin Heimberg Rhino. It's the Paul Macbeth Luna. It's the Ricky, Harp. It's that kind of disc. Pig, I guess you would say. It's that kind of disc for me. It's just so dependable, and when I grab this, I'm very confident I'll put it to the basket. This is kind of like a backup, a little bit more seasoned, and if I really want to rip on one, I'll probably throw this, just get a little bit of extra glide out of it. And then I have 2 zones, a very seasoned zone, very straight for how zones should normally fly, a little bit softer and more grippy, so I'll throw it for backhands if I do want to throw a backhand zone. And then almost brand new, I got this just a couple weeks ago. Probably only got about 100 throws on it, but just feeling very nice for just those overstable, dependable forehand shots especially. Moving on to the mid-ranges before we get too windy on the putters. I also eliminated 1 mold, once again, in the mid-range section from last season. Last season I had a Buzz SS. I wasn't throwing it a lot, and when I was not confident. I just decided, you know what? I am not a touring professional. I don't need that many molds. I'm just going to eliminate that mold and simplify my bag that much more. So I have the Multa and the Buzz. I have 2 nearly identical Buzzes. If I want just a tick more stability, I'll throw this Buzz. You might not even notice it if you just throw these a couple times, but I can feel it. It's just a little bit more stable because I've thrown it less. This one's a little bit more seasoned. Actually quite a bit more seasoned, but it's only made it a little bit more understable. So this is kind of my go-to Buzz, and then this one if I just need a little bit more of that fade. And then I have the Multa. Everyone knows what you use a Multa for. Super dependable. I can rip this as hard as I want, and even if I give it my full power, it's gonna fade out at the end every single time. Super dependable, good hyzer disc, flex shots. I just love the feel of this disc, and I had this disc in my bag for quite a while now. Moving on to the fairway drivers. So I have 5 fairway drivers, all 5 different molds, and I'm pretty sure by next season I'll eliminate at least 1 of these molds, if not 2, just because it's just my fairway section doesn't feel super tight. It's kind of like when I reach for a fairway, I'm like, which one? I'm just a little bit indecisive. So I've got the Sting. It's just super flippy. I can throw it for rollers that I just really want the disc to get to the ground and turn over without going too far. Big turnover shots. Just a kind of a utility disc. And then I have what is right now my go-to fairway, which is probably going to be the one that sticks around the most, the Stalker. I had 2 exactly like this. This one was a little bit more overstable than the previous one. I lost that one, so now I just have this one, and it's just super straight. It's like a far Buzz. If you love the Buzz, but you want a fairway version of the Buzz, this is it. This is it. It's so straight, and it goes so far. I've thrown these about 450 on some of the farthest shots with this disc, and I just love it. I even got a 350 foot Woods ace with this disc, so my greatest ace by far. And then I have the Undertaker, and number one, this disc is black, so it's super hard to find when you throw it in the weeds. And it's a first run Undertaker, or the first run Paul Macbeth Undertaker, so it's kind of rare. Those two things kind of make me hesitate to throw it a little bit, so I need to get a different one like this and retire this one, just so I can kind of depend on it a little more, but it will get you a little bit more distance than the Stalker. And this one is a little bit more understable as well, but I don't throw this disc a ton. And then I have the Onyx, which is a very new addition to the bag, just a couple weeks old, probably maybe a month now, but I've probably only gotten 50 throws in with it, and I don't know it super well. So far I haven't loved the feel of it. It's a little bit domey, this one, kind of feels sharp, but I don't know, maybe over time with a little bit of seasoning, I'll learn to really depend on this disc. But right now, this is my second go-to fairway, so this is just my overstable go-to fairway driver. It's a very beat-in Raptor. I've had it for quite some time in my bag now. I can rip on it with forehand still. It still comes out, but it does get quite a bit of glide, and I can throw good flex shots with it. It's just a super, super dependable disc. I'm sorry if this video is getting a little bit long for you. Stick around. We're getting to the big stuff now. The distance drivers. I have way too many distance drivers, guys. I just, yeah. Right now, there's a couple things I'm experimenting with. Right now, my two understable roller distance drivers is the Crank SS and the Hades. Both super understable. The Hades is very, very understable once you beat them in a little bit. They just get so flippy. The Crank SS has a little bit more stability, but still super, super understable. So these are my roller discs. I kind of just go with whatever I'm feeling. And once again, eventually I'll probably eliminate one of these from the bag just to simplify it and give myself that much more confidence. And then my go-to distance driver by far, and that is the Zeus. I just have been loving the Zeus recently. So right now I only have 3 in my bag. I have had 4 I think before, but I've lost a few throughout the past year, because when you throw 450 500 feet, it's awful easy to lose a disc. So this one is my understable Zeus. In a tailwind, I'll get this out. I even throw this for rollers. For example, at Idlewild, hole 5 I think it is, it's downhill to a green across the creek. I threw a roller on that hill and had a putt for eagle. So like, just a beautiful roller. Shots like that, I'll get this out. Big distance, high shots, if I'm really, really going for distance, I'll get it. And then I have my next most stable Zeus. This is my go-to Zeus right now. It's just seasoned slightly. I think I put it in my bag last fall. So it's pretty seasoned, fairly seasoned, but it still has a good stability to it, enough to get faded out every time. And I've been ripping this disc consistently to 450 recently, and even up to 500 on some of my farthest throws. So super far flying, not quite as far as the Nuke, but super dependable even for forehands. And then I have my overstable Zeus, very new addition to the bag, just a couple days ago. Probably only got 10 throws in with this, honestly, but it's a little bit more overstable, obviously, because it's new, but I really have been liking it, and it's gonna stick around because it's a Zeus. And then I have the Force, which is kind of the last of my distance drivers in a way. It's overstable, just my dependable disc. It's always gonna fade out pretty much every single time, forehand, backhand. I just don't love the feel of Forces. So I don't know, even a really seasoned force, if it's flippy, I still won't use it as a distance driver, but great, dependable, overstable driver. Too much for me though. And then last, but possibly not least, is the Nuke. This disc I've had for quite a while, but just recently I've been doing some experimenting with it, and it does go just a little farther than the Zeus for me. It's just maybe 20 feet, but it's just enough that it is worth pulling it out in some situations. It is a 13 speed, and when I rip it, I can get a nice turn out of it, and I have thrown this thing 500 feet already. Just a great ripper disc. So if it's wide open and I just need max distance, this is what I'm throwing. And hopefully I can get to know this disc even better, and maybe put another one in the bag, and sort of as another good distance driver for me. That wraps it up for the discs, I believe. Thanks for sticking around if you're still here. I've got a couple minis in my bag. PDGA membership mini, Innova mini. I don't know why I have an Innova mini in here. If you can't tell, I kind of like Discraft. And then I have a Discraft sports sack. I have a Discraft water bottle. Oh, and wow, I nearly forgot, but I forgot my putting putters. For my putting putters, I putt with the Luna. I've been putting with the Luna for a long time. Right now I'm in kind of a rough spot with them. This, I had an identical one like this, and they were my pair of putting putters. They were getting a little old, and the one just got so beat up and too many dings in it that I was no longer confident with it. So I retired it. This is the only putting putter I have. I have this one with it just so that there's a pair. It just feels better. So I'm working on getting another pair of Lunas, but they're just out of stock everywhere. So once I can get my hand on some Lunas, I'll be putting with a brand new pair. But this is what I'm using for now. I also have a rangefinder in the bag. This thing has been really nice. So not only is it a lot of fun to measure your biggest drives and figure out how far you can actually throw, but it can actually save you a stroke here and there. Where you think you know the distance, you measure it, you were just a little off, and it just changes your decision. That has happened a couple times, and I've really been loving that rangefinder. If you want a review on that, let us know. We will review it. And then I have the grip bag, obviously. Been loving this bag. 2.5 years now with this bag. Still holding up super well. Obviously pretty seasoned, but still working really well. I think that's about it. Thanks for watching. If you're still here, you're a miracle, because that was a really long in the bag. Yeah, we'll see you in the next one. And I'm finally here with my 2021 in the bag after 2 tournaments and hours and hours and hours of practice and probably 50 to 100 rounds. Wow, that's broad. What is up? I'm back with another in the bag, which seems to be one of the most appreciated videos on our channels. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm finally here with my 2021 in the bag. It's already July. It's just, time flies when you're having fun. When you're playing disc golf a lot, time just flies, so you don't have time to do in the bags. Oh, my dad just got a fire call. So yeah, let's just get right into it. I'm going to start with my putters and then moving up to my fairway drivers, kind of by speed. So I'm going to get my putters. I'm going to get my putters. Are you going to get your putters? Are you going to get your putters too?